Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Screw this team. Screw this team. That is embarrassing. How does that happen? How does Jean Segura from the third base side come all the way over to the first base side and call off Rhys Hoskins after he already called he's got it? It's ridiculous. And in that scenario, I get that Rhys Hoskins was underneath of the ball, but when he hears another player, and he kind of alluded to this postgame, when he hears another player, someone who's specifically a better infielder than the natural first baseman, you let them have it. But there's no way you're running over the mound, and you can't even get under the ball, and you let it drop. And this is when it was a 6-6 baseball game with 2 outs. How was that even possible? Then in extra innings, you have Roman Quinn diving for a ball in center field that he wasn't even close to getting. He wasn't even a little bit close to catching that baseball. Then there's an inside the Parker, but there's already someone on second base because of the new extra inning rule. So the Phillies go down there. This game was nuts. It really was. It had a little bit of everything, but it was also purely disgusting from a fundamental baseball point. For both teams, really. It's not like the Orioles played some magnificent game. They had some issues, too. But guess what? They found a way to win. The Phillies made more problems happen for themselves. I can't even comprehend this. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose sleep. Is this serious? Did I really just witness all of that happening? You had Bryce Harper step up big time, hit a 2-run bomb to tie the game. Jean Segura even hit a home run to take the lead to make it 6-5. You had JT Realmuto make an unbelievable play at home when the Orioles tried to steal home. Alvarez throws him a poor throw, and he still gets the tag on, which saved a big-time run, which was huge in that moment of the game. He also threw someone out at second base, too. Still don't know why anyone tries to run on JT Realmuto. Didi stepped up big late. Made the game 8-8 after it was 8-6 already. Jay Bruce knocking guys in the 10th to give the Phillies a fighting chance. And oh, by the way, he had a huge bomb early in the game, which went like 3,652 feet to give the Phillies a lead, to add on to their lead. Because Andrew McCutchen actually had an RBI single, and Adam Hazley went from first to home on that single early in the game. Before that, I'm out of breath. Bullpen stinks, in case you were wondering. Where's my hat? Here I am, freaking out so much, my hat's flying off. I can't even comprehend life at this moment. But I do know one thing. This episode is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. And with over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your solar experts in both residential and commercial projects. They are dedicated to making sure your project is completed easily and properly by using high-quality materials and trained professionals to get the job done right. So make sure you check out their information. It is in the description. So the bullpen stinks. Breaking news. Zach Wheeler in this game, he struggled. Early in the game, first inning, threw over 20-plus pitches, but he battled. Sixth inning, it got messy, it got choppy, he allowed some runs, he had a 3-0 lead, he lost a 3-0 lead. It did get ugly, and he wasn't able to get out of that 6. He went 5 2/3. I'm not going to insanely crush the guy. He battled a bit today. He did allow the 3 runs. It wasn't pretty by any means, but it wasn't a complete insane dumpster fire either. It just sucks that you understand, okay, now it's time for the bullpen. And it's not his fault that you can't rely on this bullpen whatsoever. They got out of that 6th inning because Adam Morgan came in. But from there, Tommy Hunter, here we go. Here's a bit of a nightmare. He's getting rocked. Bryce Harper battles back, gets this team going. Jean Segura gets this team going. Hey, Hector Neris, here's a chance for a save. He had no command, all over the strike zone. Fastball couldn't find the strike zone. We know how he utilizes his splitter. He doesn't throw that for a strike consistently, but that's natural. He does that no matter what type of outing it is for him. He doesn't throw that splitter for a strike. It's more about having those batters chase the splitter. But he didn't have it. He gives up the lead. This bullpen is so embarrassing. Then in the 10th, he puts Guerra in. What is the fascination with Guerra? And I get that the alternative isn't really there. It's not like there's plenty of people out there to throw in, but they did let go of Nick Pivetta, option him to AAA. How about that? I'm sure he's pretty damn embarrassed, but he should be. And they picked up Connor Brogdon, who I'm intrigued by. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and be some elite shutdown bullpen guy, but give him an opportunity. You got to switch things up. You know Guerra doesn't work. He allowed the hit where Roman Quinn tried to dive and went all the way behind him for the inside the park. But that thing got rocked, and that would have allowed one run at least. Granted, it's because there's a guy on second base to begin the extra inning, but still, give Connor Brogdon a try. I know Blake Parker warmed up at one point, but you got to try something new is my point. You got to give a new look out there. If you look at the Phillies' ERA, and their bullpen pitchers' ERA, 9, 8, 10, 13, 15. I'm not making this stuff up. That's the actual numbers of the bullpen and the individual's ERA. It's not even physically possible to do that. It's not even physically possible to do it. But yet somehow, some way, they have it. If you couldn't tell, I think this team is going to be the death of me. Really, I do believe that. It didn't matter what happened in the 10th, though, if they did find a way to maybe tie it up, because I saw Austin Davis warming up in the bullpen. Well, once you see Austin Davis warming up, you know it's game over. Even if it is a big-time lead, it's still over, because he can't do a damn thing. Crazy night. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was laughing, but you know when you laugh because you're so sad, you're so upset, you're so devastated, you're just laughing because you're so bothered. That's what it is. You can't fully understand what's happening. You laugh because it's naturally laughing because you're uncomfortable. That's what I was doing by myself in my basement watching the game. What was Jean Segura thinking? And it's a shame because you know what? I thought Rhys Hoskins had a couple nice swings tonight. I thought he showed that he's barreling up the ball better. He's getting more of the ball. His timing is getting better. Another warning track shot. And I think he's going to start to kind of get that back. I do. I've been out on Rhys Hoskins without a doubt, but if you've been watching over the last couple games, there has been a difference in the way that he is hitting the baseball. He's still leaving some up there that I would love him to crush. He's still leaving some pitches there. I'm not saying he's totally fixed, but compared to what you saw the first week or so to now, he's definitely squaring up the ball better, and hopefully he can get out of this damn funk and get back to some sort of Rhys Hoskins that's not just a walk every single time he gets to the plate. But it's a shame because I think that last out is going to have people feeling a little upset with him. But in reality, there's so many other issues that happened. I can't just criticize Rhys Hoskins in this one. I can't. There was an interesting situation to bring up when it comes to Joe Girardi. Bottom sixth, tie baseball game, 2 outs. Jay Bruce is up, and he's going up against a lefty. But Jay Bruce has been on fire. Jay Bruce literally, and I mean literally, demolished a ball out of this world earlier in the game. Bases loaded, 2 outs, lefty. And Joe Girardi stuck with him. And you know me, I like analytics, but I don't use it for every single decision ever. You have someone like Phil Gosselin on the bench who's been scorching red hot. And he can totally face a lefty in that scenario. But Joe Girardi stayed with Jay Bruce. And if I'm going to be true to myself, I claim that, you know what, if someone's hot, you stick with the hot guy. And in this scenario, both guys were hot. Phil Gosselin is clearly one of the best offensive players on the Phillies right now. Yeah, that came out of my mouth. Yeah, that's a true statement. But the way Jay Bruce was swinging the bat all night long, he's doing damage as well. So I put my hands up to that decision. I know a lot of the analytical people are going, you have to go with Gosselin. Look at his numbers against the lefties compared to what Jay Bruce does against lefties. And I do get that, but if I'm going to be true to myself, where I say sometimes you would go against the numbers if you go with gut feel and you go off of recent production and you go off of, how you feel about a certain player. And recent production will show you that Phil Gosselin is a good option in that moment. But I also feel like, look, Jay Bruce is confident as hell. He's putting on a hell of a performance in this game. I'll live and die with it. And it did not work out in that specific situation, but I won't crush Joe Girardi for that moment. Late in the game, though, when Scott Kingery was up to bat, I thought maybe that would have been a good spot to pinch hit and put Phil Gosselin in. Because Scott Kingery doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I mean, this Scott Kingery is brutal. It might be worse than Rhys Hoskins. Honestly, it might be worse than Rhys Hoskins. And that's saying a lot. I don't know what is happening with Kingery right now, but he is so lost. He looks so confused. It's poor at bats. Not professional-like. Some guys might struggle, but they can at least give a good approach, very professional, battle off pitches, and it's not ugly. Scott Kingery's approach right now makes me want to throw the hell up. And I can't stand looking at it. But instead, Gosselin pinch hits for Adam Hazley. He ends up getting a hit, Gosselin does. It hits off the pitcher, I believe, and it goes towards the shortstop, and that kept the late inning alive. But, I don't know if I would have allowed Scott Kingery to go. I would feel more comfortable. And once again, this goes against the whole lefty-righty situation. But I think I would have pinch hit for Scott Kingery and then have Adam Hazley go up against a lefty. I would have rather have that than had Scott Kingery in the game there because I had zero faith. I literally had no faith that he would be able to properly get the job done. It's incredible, really. It's so hard to be this pathetic. We make fun of the Mets all the time. We make fun of other teams and how much of a dumpster fire they are. No. The Phillies are right up there with one of the most embarrassing baseball teams that we have ever seen. And remember, the other day, I talked about how we knew the bullpen was going to be bad. So when the offense is concerning and the offense isn't going, that's where I have the problem. And if they were to score 9 runs and still lose, well, then I would get it because the bullpen is so bad, and at least that makes sense. In theory, at least that makes sense. At least the offense was going, and the issue was all with the bullpen. But now we factor in another layer. Now we are bringing up fundamental baseball and horrific defense. And I thought that was one of the things we would assume would happen when it came to Joe Girardi. Gabe Kapler, these guys weren't mentally ready. It was a mess. There were problems with the clubhouse. And I'm not claiming that there's problems with the clubhouse with Joe Girardi. But one of the things that we expected out of Joe Girardi was the fact that this clubhouse was going to be dialed in different. They were going to have their heads on straight. They wouldn't play silly, stupid baseball. And this was so far past silly, stupid baseball, I don't even know how to explain it. But it was flat out garbage and so pathetic. It's eating me alive replaying that Rhys Hoskins play where he is underneath the baseball. He already called it previously, and here comes Jean Segura just not knowing what he's doing, fumbling over the mound, calling him off. How could you possibly think that that would be your ball? All the way from third base, coming all the way over to the other side of the field to say, my ball, I got it. In what universe is that going to happen? Really bad night for Jean Segura. I know he had the big home run, but you can't have that type of problem. This is Major League Baseball. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to professional sports. When you are a pro, your mindset is just different. It's not little Johnny from Little League Baseball, Cal Ripken Baseball, Babe Ruth Baseball, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's not high school baseball. It's not AAU. When you are a professional, you have a different type of motor and mindset. And these type of mental problems that happen out there on the field, it's so inexcusable, it's not even funny. So when they happen, It's so different than the error that happens in any other form of baseball. It's just different. So when it happens, it needs to be criticized insanely heavily, and it deserves to have these players roasted insanely. It just has to, because it cannot, and I mean it cannot happen at this level. 8-year-olds do that. 7-year-olds do that. And I was worried about Jean Segura playing third. He made errors last year at shortstop. A decent amount of errors. And switching him to third, I thought, I don't know if this is a great idea. And to be fair, it's not like he's been horrendous, making so many problems and having so many mistakes over there. But this was a pretty crucial one. And it's showing. And he's another one that is all over the place mentally. I mentioned Scott Kingery, Jean Segura, and I know he's hit home runs in the last couple games, but he has not been smooth at all. The dude is a 300 hitter, 280 to 300 hitter statistically throughout his damn career. Figure it out. It's not like he's some stellar D guy, all right? It's not like he's some Nolan Arenado type defender or you know, Didi at shortstop. When he played shortstop last year. He's not that type of defender. But give us more. Just give us more all around. You're better than what you did tonight defensively, without a doubt. And offensively, figure it out, because you're too good of a hitter to be this poor right now. Now, I do need to mention something about JT Realmuto and his new contract. But before we do that, support for Sports Talk with Broads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in the men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. When you're in the shower and you have that LED light going with the quiet stroke technology since they upgraded to the 7,000 RPM motor, it's unbelievable. You want to make sure you are clean down there when you go with your significant other out one night and you come home and you think you're going to have a little bit of fun. You use this Lawnmower 3.0 to make sure it looks beautiful down there, and I guarantee it works beautifully. And if you use code BROD at manscaped.com, you get 20% off and free shipping. Your balls will thank you. Trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BROD. So here's something that bothers me about JT Realmuto's contract situation. I've been on the record saying it's not easy, and it's not. I don't think that this scenario is easy at all. I think it's a little bit of a thinking process right now. You got to think about how you are going to properly do this. With that being said, Rob Motti is reporting that there has not even been a discussion with JT, and that's a problem. You have to at least talk to the man. You have to at least have the conversation. That's a flaw with the front office. If you want to have a convo with him, see where he's at, talk about where you're at, and have the conversation of, okay, what are you thinking? At least talk to the man. But you're telling me there's not even a little bit of communication between both parties when it comes to this contract extension? Well, then shame on you. And from there, the whole entire scenario changes, okay? Because I do understand why you would think about it and not just rush into it and give him whatever he wants right off the jump, because there's a lot in play with age, money, COVID-19, losing out on ticket sales. That's all part of it. But do not tell me that you never sat down with him, with his agent, and literally talked about what you felt is right, and walk through the process together and have legit conversations back and forth, figure each other out, talk. The fact that they haven't even talked is stupid, and it's ridiculous, and it's so It's a fireable offense, really. It's a fireable offense from this front office. If I'm John Middleton, and realistically, he's part of the problem too, because he should be the one negotiating these talks if Matt Klentak isn't, okay? If the GM isn't, that's for him to step in and go, hold on a second, we need to have this conversation. So clearly he feels as if this is the right way to go about this too, and that's a little shocking to me. That pisses me off. You can't tell me that you are not even sitting down in the same room with this guy. I won't have it. I will not accept it. That's the stuff that I think is disturbing when it comes to hearing how the front office is going about their business. It's not the right way. It's not the right way. See this? I'm pointing to my mouth. This is called a mouth. And you can talk with this, and you can speak to another individual that has a mouth, and then those two, maybe they talk about money, maybe they talk about the issue, the current contract, and what they're feeling. Maybe talk this out. What are you thinking, JT? Would you like to be here? And realistically, if I'm JT, I might be thinking, hell no, look at this bullpen you're building, Matt. Look at this bullpen you're building, John. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. Who are we to think that this is some magical place that everybody wants to be? Why? Because the fans that go crazy outside the ballpark, I do think that's pretty cool. But how about all the other fans that are ready to rip their damn hair out because this team drives them nuts? And to be fair, it's not like JT Realmuto's getting a lot of slander. If anything, he's getting an obnoxious amount of love. But it's a tough place to play if he hasn't figured that out yet. Maybe he doesn't want to be here. Maybe he sees the way that this direction is going and he's like, whoa, hold on a second. They don't know how to figure out talent. They don't know what they're doing. They have crybabies on the mound like Nick Pivetta. That's not right. That's not right. I didn't have to do that. Poor Nick Pivetta. He's probably so devastated. But how many opportunities did the man get? Shame on you. Shame on you. I can't get over that picture of Joe Girardi calling Nick Pivetta in the bullpen. Why are you speaking to Nick Pivetta? What are you doing? You don't have to explain yourself to him. If you want Nick Pivetta in the ballgame, you put his ass in the ballgame. All around, though, this is so astonishing what we witnessed. From Roman Quinn to Jean Segura to Tommy Hunter to Hector Neris to Guerra. But on the positive side, there were positives. Bryce Harper stepped up when they were down. Big time 2-run homer to tie the game. An exciting moment, as frustrating as Gene was when he hit that homer to take the lead. That was exciting. They fought back multiple times. You want some positives? You want to leave with some positives? They fought back a couple times. There's your positive. Now, I don't really expect you to take that and run with it. Because at the end of the day, that was gross. Gross! Gross! I don't think I'm sleeping tonight. I don't think so. I'm sweating. Big time. I might need to take a shower after this one. That's how you know it was a good reaction. You start sweating. I got sweat in between my legs here. Armpits. Face. Damn Phillies team. God, I can't stand them. Can't wait for tomorrow, 7:05. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Sports Talk with Broads. And I will see you next time.